that helps you make better decisions so you can live a rich life. I'm Quan, this is Cook, and this morning we're going to be talking about the power of words. We have a special guest with us this morning, attorney, motivational speaker, Kenneth Willis. Is going to drop down some knowledge in this area. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Kenneth.
Good morning, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem.
Absolutely.
No problem. So, change it up a little bit. And really think about, what really drives that. What's some of the root causes behind, that puts people in a position where they don't really have that command of words. I think it starts with, where you grow up, your community, your upbringing, what levels of education, like what you've been exposed to, right? Because I can remember growing up, if I just think of a simple example, I remember growing up that, the words confrontational and combative were one and the same. Right? There was no confronting without combat, right? It always led to some type of altercation, fighting, whatever. Right. And it wasn't until I actually became a man that I actually was able to decipher between the two. Between confrontational and combative. The ability to confront issues or challenges, ways of thinking, and the opposite of that, or an escalation of that, get to the point that you're willing to fight behind it, right?
Nice. Can I add to that?
Yeah.
So look, I'm a trial lawyer.
Yeah.
Right. I've been doing this for 9 years. I have my own practice, the Willis Law Firm. We practice here in Louisiana, and we also practice in New York. And one of my passions is being a trial lawyer and being in court and fighting for something big, right? Fighting for a cause. And so you brought up an interesting point about a confrontation. I'll tell you a little story.
Yeah.
I had a trial just October, right? I was defending a guy who was charged with murder. And he was looking at life in prison. And listen, when you get charged with second-degree murder in Louisiana, you get life. You understand what I'm saying? And life means life.
Yeah.
And so the case that was presented to me, my guy, he was about 25 years old at the time, right?
Yeah.
And young guy, and he's faced with a situation in which he has an encounter with a guy who knows him, right? The guy believes that my client was sleeping with his wife, right?
Oh, it gets sticky, huh?
Yeah. And so, but it wasn't true. Right? It wasn't true. It wasn't true.
I don't know that.
And so there, and you talk about the altercation becoming combative. So the deceased slaps my client in his face. Now, mind you, he just got shot 5 months ago. He has a colostomy bag on him, right? He can't fight. He ain't trying to fight.
Yeah.
Dude just like, listen, man, stop lying on me. My word, you slander my name. He slaps him. And this is when it comes. We're talking about power of words.
Yeah.
He tells him, he slaps him and he says, B, I got something for you. And he runs to his car. Okay, mind you, my guy's car is parked and his car is right
Next to it?
behind it.
Okay.
Y'all follow?
Yeah.
So he slaps him, runs to his car.
Yeah.
I got something for you.
Yeah.
Slaps him, runs to his car, and this is happening, like the intensity is there.
Yeah.
What that mean to you? Power of words.
He got something for you.
You got something for me.
So I gotta react.
Yeah, I gotta go to the truck.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what that means,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
What that mean to you,
Yeah,
Cook?
absolutely.
But that means somebody say I got something for you. I take it in the South. For our colloquialism, the words we use, it's a threat.
It's a threat.
It's a threat.
Dude about to get the heat.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So
I'm assuming right off the bat.
So my guy,
That's how we talk now.
my guy just got shot. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just got shot. It's in his mind. I almost was here. I almost lost my life. And mind you, the deceased had a reputation for carrying a gun. So this is real.
Yeah.
This is, you understand?
Yeah.
And so that instant second, he got his girl with him. His girl they got a child together, right? And so bullets got a name on it?
No name.
No.
And so he's going, he got something for you, so he's going. And so my guy, the Constitution says peers are basically people in the community who are strangers.
Yeah.
You feel me? And so you get the people in the jury box, and this is why juries, being a part of the jury selection process and serving on the jury is so critical, because you will get individuals on that jury pool who do not look like you, do not come from the same background as you, do not share your same values, right? And so now I have to, we talk about power of words. And I want to get y'all, and I don't want to talk the whole time.
Yeah.
But I have to articulate to people, we want to talk about random guys, I'm articulating to random people
Right.
about what does it mean when somebody slaps you in your face, runs to their car and say, B, I got something for you.
They're not from the culture.
They're not from that.
They're not from,
They're not from that.
So
they're looking at it in their perspective. Well, I would just call the cops.
Yeah.
No.
Boom. And that's, man.
What people don't realize, the things you say, you gotta live by it.
You gotta live by it.
I told you, even on bluffing, I told you. People do it all the time. I got people that just lie, right? I got something when I go to car. Ain't got nothing in that car but a blow whistle, right?
Right.
But in this culture, I gotta assume.
Yeah.
Then I got my girl and my kid. It's me or you.
And so the cautionary tale for the gentleman who passed is, listen, man, you can't say stuff like that.
Right.
That literally was a life or death situation. Right. So we're speculating, but we have a belief, a subjective belief that this guy was more than likely going for his gun.
Absolutely.
And he's no longer here.
Why you running to the car?
Right. He's no longer here. And so the question, and what I do when I go speaking to kids and young adults, how can we?
And that's the audience that you're mostly dealing with right now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I use my platform as an attorney to go to speak, inner city kids at school environments, and even young adults, and just sharing with them my experiences as an attorney or just in life, right? And so what I want to share is, how do we de-escalate that situation with the use of our words, right? Why did we take that situation, that particular case, and why did it escalate into the situation where someone lost their life? And then let's not forget about my client. He, as we speak, he is doing 15 years, not 15, 23 years in prison, right? Because we couldn't go to trial because I told him, I said, listen, man, I know, bro. Like, I ain't grow up in the projects. I ain't grow up in the villa. You understand? But I got enough street knowledge. You know what I mean? I grew up in Orleans Parish. Yeah. Not Orleans Parish, the Orleans Villa. You see what I'm saying? And so on one day you'll have birds chirping, dandelions growing. On another day somebody got shot at the end of the corner. You see what I'm saying? But so I understand that. You understand that. But I gotta tell this guy, listen. That jury, which is a microcosm of society or the community, may not see it the way we see it. Right. And you may lose this case. Regardless of my abilities, my confidence, right, in this trial. I see it some way, but that's what I have to do as a trial attorney. I can't get caught up in me because this is not about me. At the end of the day, I'm going home. I'm going home. With my wife and my son.
You have to sleep. You have to be able to sleep at night.
I ain't worried about Angola and all that other kind of stuff. And so I have to express to him the pros and the cons of his case. And so I said, listen, man, we might need to guarantee our outcome in this case. And at the end of the day, man, I told him, we're about to pick the jury. There are people getting in the jury box, right? And so my assistant, Danielle Yates, is sitting on the other side of my client. My client's sitting right here. And he just can't quite get it in his mind to do 23 years. And she tells him, and now I'm no longer trying to convince him because I'm trying to be focused on getting ready for this trial. And picking this jury with this random group of people. And so
each side gets 6.
Yes. No, 12. This is a
no, it's 12, but each the plaintiff gets 6.
The state. No, it's not like that. But I'm not gonna spend too much time on that. But I'll let you know about that. But so basically, he's like, man, we're getting ready for trial. I'm focused. My assistant says, listen, look at the jury pool and see if they look like you. Right? See if they look like you. And so he turns around and he sees it's not people that look like him.
These are not what you would consider your peers.
Your peer, absolutely not. And then so he leans over to me and he says, Kenneth, He said, man, what's your confidence level in this case? On a scale of 1 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
I said 5.
Mm.
He said, man, let's take this plea deal.
Mm.
Case closed. We guaranteed the outcome of the case. Although the man has to do 25 years, 23 years, he'll actually be out in 15 if he does good time. The alternative is if we lost, the guy in prison for the rest of his life.
Rest of his life.
So that for me was a cigar moment. I don't smoke, but that was a cigar moment, bro, because I had an opportunity to save a young black man's life.
Mm-hmm. We get to that point when you have two people who don't understand the difference between confrontation and combat. And if they knew the difference, we probably would never get that.
Absolutely.
You would have to go be,
no doubt,
a family
attorney
or something, because we could solve that problem. He would understand that, hey, number one, the guy took it, that initial guy, the deceased, he took it and turned it combative when really your client was using his right to become. We have a right to be confrontational. I have a right to confront issues.
What's the difference?
Well, confrontation means that you're willing to confront issues, differences of opinions. You're willing to confront them. Combative people, to be combative means that you are willing or eager to fight. Is the difference. It's taking it from being able to dialogue about an issue to coming to the point where you're willing to either verbally fight or physically come to blows behind something. I'm very confrontational, but I'm not interested in being combative. Right. I'm very confrontational.
So people misuse those words then. Because people you being combative. By your definition, I'm not being combative.
Unless you're trying to instigate a fight. If you're doing it to instigate a fight, whether verbally or physically, no, it's confrontation.
Right.
It's confrontation.
Well, that makes sense. You clear it up because clearly I ain't know the difference. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't learned until I was an adult. I told you I was a grown man when I did this. I was a grown man. Most of the fights that happened in the hood started because somebody was confronting an issue.
Right.
They didn't do it with the intention to fight, but either them or the other person, because of the response, turned it into combat when it started off as confrontation.
Well,
we're illiterate. There's illiteracy going on in our neighborhoods. That's what's going on.
I'm last in the United States in education. But anyway, that's something different.
But how what I'm thinking of a situation now, which we have problems with, is the police and the citizen, right? The encounter.
I had that in my notes. I'm going to answer this question, right?
Remember to post your comments, comment statements. Remember to post those things because we want to get into and join us into a conversation also. I'm sorry.
That's my point. The Miranda rights. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. And it's the key. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. I don't think you realize how powerful that one statement is. They say anything you say can and will be used against you. Man,
you know what? But here's the thing, right? So I
got
something for that. And this is gonna be more. This is from your expertise. Should we, looking at the difference between being combative and being confrontational? I have the right to be confrontational. I do not have the right to be combative. Okay. In certain situations, I believe combat is necessary. So, but that's we're getting into wars and those type of things, right? But I think when you approach something with the combative mindset, you approach it with the readiness to go to whatever extent this needs to go to. I don't think I should confront every issue like that. If it's a life or death, if you put me in a position where my life is being threatened, then I have to be combative. But in everyday conversation or mishaps and things that happen, I think we have the right to be confrontational.
You're right.
Do you believe in? Put you on the spot here.
Keep it real.
I'm gonna keep it real though. Do you believe we have the right? Or do you believe that we have, I'm going to say right, we have the right to become confrontational? You brought up the police. We have the right to become confrontational with police.
We have the right, Quan, but we have to be smart. Okay, we have to be smart. The problem with the encounter between citizens and police is I do, and what I share with when I go speak, we have to be able to assess ignorance, right? We have to assess ignorance, right? And so if I'm in an exchange with a police, I'm being pulled over, and the police is already disrespecting me, and I did nothing wrong, or the only thing I did wrong was have a loose tail light or something like that, and you already coming at me negatively, I am assessing your ignorance. And so if I respond in such a way that's confrontational, right? I may put myself in a situation where this can escalate into me either losing my life, and that's hard to say, right? As morbid as that is, but that's the reality. And so we have to be smart. And it's a fine line, Quan and Cookie, because you don't want to lose your dignity, right? Am I being submissive to authority? Am I? Nah. Actually, you're trying to live.
Right.
So, and I'm glad you said that. So that, man, we can go. I gotta dive into that. So, so how would you define that, right? Where would you draw the line between being submissive and losing your dignity? Like, where's that line drawn?
I think they violate.
Because really, here's the reason why I say that, right? Because, like I said, the environment we grew up in, the neighborhoods we grew up in, we don't know the difference between confrontation and combative. We don't know the difference between submissive and losing your dignity. I don't know when you're trying to, like we used to say, you trying to play me, take my man. You're trying to take my man. I don't know the difference between that.
Right.
And you're telling me something that could ultimately, maybe you might be telling me, hey, you don't want to go there with me because I am willing to take this to a level you're not going to. You know, maybe that might be a piece of insight even, but where do we draw the line there? What's the difference between?
No, I think, as what it was stating earlier, this is how I look at it. We all homeowners. We pay what you call property tax, right?
Right.
When I looked at my bill for property tax that's due December 31st, $397 goes to the sheriff's office. So I see why certain our other brothers and sisters get out the car and yell, "Hey man, I pay you." I see why they do that.
Right.
I saw that $390 something. I feel like I'm entitled to say the same thing. You pull me over for it, right? But I guess you get to a certain place in your life, you start to understand, like, hey man, like they called my phone a few months ago. It's the sheriff's office. Probably knew who I was, right? The policeman involved or whatever. We trying to raise funds. I give y'all 25. You know, support. We thank you for your support. They call in soliciting funds. And you get pulled over, and they treat you as you never existed because they don't know who you are. You're just a face. But they realize economically, I help ensure that you have a job. I help ensure the $394. I'm paying that B. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
I need to be treated like a human being.
So, and I'm glad you said that. But just to go a little deeper into that though. So where do we draw that line? Where do you get out the car like Cook? Cook stay in the car. What can you get out the line? You know, when you can pull your mortgage statement out, say the line, that itemized line, right? What's the difference between submissive and losing your dignity?
This is the thing, Quan. I can't tell anyone where to draw the line.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And so your life is your life, right? And so
you got to discern at that point.
For example, all right. I fly back and forth from New York to Louisiana. Okay, we got an office in New York. And so I'm on my way to New York. I'm going to the New Orleans airport. But when I fly, I leave my car at my mom's house on the West Bank. All right? And so I'm on my way to the West Bank, and I get pulled over by a cop. And we all have this story, a similar story. I get pulled over by a cop, and he's coming at me hard. He got the police lights on, and I'm like, dude, got to be mistaken, right? And so when I fly, I'm comfortable, right? So I don't have my suit on, my tie and all that. Like I had a fitted cap on, shades. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Right? And so
I'll pull you over too.
See what I'm talking about? Why am I not surprised you say that? Right?
Hooligan.
Get off. Yeah. But see,
get out the car.
But you're a Trump supporter, so I understand that. But
anyway, hey, Brian. I'm about to tell them lies, bro. Power of word, bro. Tell them lies.
Power of word.
You believe that?
Let me finish my story.
I don't believe that.
So look,
you live in Prairie View?
Hey, bro, I'll tell you where I live at, bro.
So, all right, so he pulls up on me, and I'm like, dude, gotta be mistaken. So I'm driving, and he still pulled me over. He pulled me over on the side of the road, and he comes out hard at me. Like I say, that's ignorance. This guy is ignorant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he tell me to pull out, get out your car. And so now I'm in a situation where I'm like, dude got me mistaken because ain't no way in the world you're coming at me like this.
Right.
And so handcuffs me. Right? A whole lawyer. Criminal defense. dude violated about 3-4 rights before he got to me. You understand?
Yeah.
And so I think it was Acres Road. I'm out here like this, cuz I got people looking at me. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
Right? I'm assessing ignorance. And the old Kenneth, right? The old Kenneth would have been like, dude, you violated this law, Constitution. What's your probable cause for stopping me? You got the wrong person, right? You violated so many laws. I'm a lawyer. I'm a criminal defense. I'll take you to court. What's your badge number? That's the old Kenneth. Mm-hmm. The new Kenneth, I'm just thinking about my son and my wife.
Right. Mm. Assess the situation.
I'm thinking about my son and my wife.
Yeah.
Because my education, right? My knowledge, my ability to use my words don't mean nothing out here on the streets. Because guess what? They got the gun.
They got the gun.
They got the gun and they got the ignorance. And I'm going to be clear, I'm not talking about all the police. I'm talking about the bad apples.
This particular one.
Right.
Yeah.
He got the gun. He's ignorant.
Yeah.
And so when you ask me the question, Quan, where do you draw the line? Listen, I don't know if I lost my dignity. I don't know what. But everything I remember to say, yes, sir. No, sir. And when I hit him with the yes, sirs and the no, sirs, it was like, he wasn't ready for that. Mm. Get your ID, my driver's license. This is a little nugget for all my youngsters. My driver's license, every time I take a picture, I make sure I have on a shirt and tie. And so my picture shows what? Professionalism. Mm-hmm. Where you work at. Work for myself. Really? What do you do? I'm an attorney. Criminal defense. Yeah. Criminal defense. And so he like, oh snap. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cuz. And I'm out here like this. Power words though. Sometimes, Quan and Cook, we got to understand, like the subtitle for power words is understanding when not to talk.
Right.
Understanding when not to use your power. Bro,
that is freaking good. I like that.
What I'm saying?
Understand when not to use.
When not to talk. Because
Absolutely.
I know, dude, if I see you in court, I'm going to destroy you.
Yeah.
But out here on these streets, I'm done.
Wow.
And so dude unhandcuffed me. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you how ignorant the dude was. I told him I was a lawyer. You know what he asked me after that?
What's that?
You passed the bar?
Nope.
Did you pass the bar?
That's the only way you be a lawyer.
So when so I was right. Mm. The guy was ignorant. The guy had preconceived notions. The guy just wanted to believe that I was somebody else.
Yeah.
Right? He thought I stole my car, man. I was in my wife's Jeep. You know, Grand Cherokee, nice car, but come on, man.
Yeah.
You know, and so
too nice for you.
That's a situation where it's like I gotta assess your ignorance. Mm-hmm. Because your ignorance may put me in a situation where I want my dignity, I want to maintain my power, but I don't want to lose it where this situation escalates and I lose my life in the streets. Mm-hmm. On my way to my mom's house, trying to fly and get to my wife and my kid.
Right.
Yeah.
I think people lose their dignity mostly when other people are around. Because that would have happened to your son. Hey, let him handle you like that. Tell him you're a lawyer.
Yeah.
Tell him you this. Yeah. And then you got to be like, dang. I remember my dad, when I was younger, police used to pull him over to do the same stuff, and he always used to tell the cop, don't beat me in front of my son.
Wow.
Don't hit me in front of my son. And the cops was like, all right, all right. And they'll walk him out, hey, y'all stay here. He said, just don't beat me in front of my son. Mm-hmm. Don't do that. Don't take that away from me in front of my son.
Right.
Because if you do, I gotta be fine.
You know the interesting thing about it? And so just from the story that you gave and this illustration that you just gave, Cook, what that clearly tells me is that dignity really has a whole lot less to do with how you respond to things and has more to do with identity. Because if I think about it, because of who you were and what you knew, you use that as the gauge of when he's getting to the point, or when this officer got to the point that that it could potentially be, because I don't think at that point you were thinking about it violating your dignity at that point. Mm-hmm. And even when you mentioned the statement about your dad, he knew what he could and could not do. Right. And because he had that sense of identity, look, I know what you're capable of doing. I'm asking for this request. Like he made a request, right? But it seems like the dignity piece has a whole lot to do with identity. Mm-hmm. And the power of words play a huge portion on identity. You were just telling me the other day, Cook, about a story about a friend that we have who, you know, people used to tell him that he was ugly.
Right. Oh,
you know, people used to tell him that he was ugly growing up.
Wow.
And that affected the way that he handled situations. But
real cool dude though.
Real cool
dude. Yeah, my dog.
But he used that. You know, that identity to redefine what his dignity should be. Mm-hmm. So now you calling me ugly doesn't offend me anymore. At first that would have took my dignity. It doesn't take my dignity anymore because of my own personal identity. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Well, the interesting thing, and I think I know this guy you're talking about. Man, this guy, he was ugly. You know? Just keep it real with you. He was ugly, but he had swag with it. He had swag with it. My dog had swag with it. You understand? Dude was popular.
You know he gonna
get on me.
Like a rap video. You know he coming back with a distance, right?
But you didn't say no name. You didn't say no name though. So
you didn't say no name.
The only way you're gonna be exposed.
But he said something, and we was talking about this, and something really hit me. He used to joke about it in such a way that would deflect the attention and make it where it was funny, right? And so it hit me like, wow, that's something that really happened. That was something he was dealing with. Yeah. And so it's not just him. And we all have our quote unquote deficiencies, if you want to call it that. Ugly. You know, and look, real talk, dude look much better now. You know, I'm gonna give him that. Yeah. But so he used that as a means to say, okay, this is how I'm gonna deal with this. I'm gonna make a joke out of it, and everybody would laugh and clown.
But he helped other people
fun.
Too.
Right.
He helped other people that was in that same
situation to deal with his. Whatever I mean, you know, whatever. You know, we all have something that we would want not to be exposed and things like that. And so that was interesting because back then, you know, we just joking. I never thought about how that would really affect him. Mm-hmm. You know, personally, I never thought, even because we would clown a lot all the time. And you're too young to think about, man, dude got to go home and look at himself in the mirror. You understand what I'm saying? Like, real talk.
Yeah.
And we keep clowning him.
Yeah.
And we think it's fair game.
Yeah.
But we're probably hitting below the belt right there. You know, you could talk about my shoes, you know, my pro wings or whatever. You could talk about my rustler jeans. But you talking about my face, I can't do nothing about my face.
I can't help it. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're right. And the words do matter. Like the old saying goes, sticks and stones may break my bone, but words will never hurt. That was the biggest lie that was told us. Because some people still stuck on a word that was told years ago.
Wow.
Stuck on it.
Wow.
Like, you ain't going to be nothing.
Wow.
And every day. That's why they got overachievers now, right? Are not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You averaging 40 points a game. Not good enough. Papa say 55. Right? They got a story of the dude. I watched it on TED Talk. I sent it to you. The guy was talking about his friend. His friend wanted to be, just say engineer, we'll use the example. His friend wanted to be an engineer, and his friend was working hard in school to be that engineer.
Right.
And he called his dad for approval. Dad, made straight A's this semester. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Working real hard. Dad, I got the job, 6-figure job. His dad, he said, Dad, are you proud of me now? Dad said, can I call you back on visit?
Ooh.
Hung up the phone. Dude went off. Got on drugs and alcohol, right? He said, if my dad not proud of me, he said, why should I be proud of him too?
That's deep.
So he wound up overdosing and dying. His dad never told him I was proud of him. That's all he wanted. He wanted to hear those words, I'm proud of you.
Affirmation.
I got people in my family and people that I know, y'all probably know too. All they want to hear somebody say, I'm proud of you. Mm-hmm. Like something small. I'm proud of you. You work real hard. You accomplish a lot of things. And that go back to being regretful. Because some people regret not telling their kids that before they die.
Ooh.
While their kids on drugs. The worst thing a parent want to have in their life is outliving their kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But that just go to the story that blew me away with the power of words. How that guy, all he wanted his dad to say was, I'm proud of you.
You know, that reminds me of, makes me think of something in regards to my own son. And one of the things I try to practice as much as I can remember it is, you know, a lot of people tell their kids things like they're smart, right? You're smart. You have a daughter, you're beautiful, you know, you're a beautiful young lady or whatever. You know, you make these statements to them, right? And I tried to pull back from telling my son that he was smart. And I'm going to put some context around that. Mm-hmm. And what I tried to do is pull back from just telling him he was smart without tying it to something specific that he did. Right? So a lot of people tell their kids, oh, you're such a smart boy, or he's a smart little girl, or he's smart, But what I try to do now is I try to tie that to, hey, you did this, this, and this, and it did that for you. That was smart, right? So that what it does is it reinforces the action, right? Because if I just tell a kid they're smart, or you just tell somebody that they're ugly, right? Like you said, I can't change my face. I can't change that. You think I have this innate ability to be smart, right? And necessarily those things aren't true. If we put words within the right context, we will see that those words should be tied to specific actions.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And so what I do with him now is when he's done something, I say what you've done, and that was smart, so that you know to continue to keep working,
right?
So that you can continue to be smart,
I like that.
Rather than you just wake up tomorrow and you're smart. No, you're not smart because you just woke up today. No, you're not smart,
I like
right?
that.
You're smart because of what you've done. And I think when we look at using words powerfully or using them within context, I think that we can do a lot more good when we structure things in that way. So
you pointed out you're smart because and that's giving you a direction. You're smart. You really could build those blocks like nobody else. Because, a parent supposed to point their kid like an arrow and shoot them in the direction they're supposed to go. And you can use your words a lot of times to do that. Even
you're supposed to use your words.
Right.
That's what you're talking about.
Right.
The context of pulling that arrow back and shooting it is using your words to do that. And, it makes me think about even with the show, right? So we look at the show, we want to build this show around helping people make better decisions so they can live rich lives, right? The rich life being a result that you make good decisions, right? But how do you make good decisions? Well, one part of that is how you use your words, right? Because they outline everything. They build everything, the structure around what you're doing, right?
I enjoy being a lawyer. It's a passion that I have. But I oftentimes, especially in criminal defense, I'm dealing with people on the back end.
It's reactive.
Right.
It's a reactive field.
And so, and it's great. That's why I love public speaking, because on that piece, I'm dealing with people on the front end. How can we be proactive? How can we avoid conflict resolution? All right, let's talk about this. What is your understanding of conflict resolution? Let's give you a scenario where this matter could escalate. What tools you could have used with your mouth, your words, that could have de-escalated this situation? You could have walked away, right? Not because the problem is, listen, when I was in law school, they had this thing called character and fitness. And character and fitness was an assessment of me as a person. How is my character? What does my integrity look like? Right? I don't care what your grade is in law school. I don't care if you pass and you graduate. If you want to sit for the bar and you want to be a member of the bar and be an attorney, what is your integrity? And so that, you know what's important about that? The whole time I'm in law school, right? And I started law school young. I was just made 22. So when I'm out of law school, maybe it's summertime, we're done with our classes, man, I'm still young. I still want to go out. I still want to hang out with my lady friend. I still want to go to the club and chill, right? But my environment is different. It's not my peers in law school. It's everybody that I'm accustomed to before I went to law school.
Right.
And so now, when you're in the club, you got your lady friend, you run into a guy who won't disrespect you, and so now it's conflict resolution, right? And so it goes back to what I said before. Now I got to assess ignorance. The reason why I'm saying this is because what's going through my mind when I'm dealing with a situation and I'm at the club or I'm at a party and I walk into somebody who's drunk, who's belligerent, they're not exercising good judgment. And so now they disrespect me, right? Or they feeling on my girl and I'm with them. I'm with my girl and you disrespecting me. So now I have to assess ignorance, and you know what's going through my mind? Character and fitness. Not how am I gonna be a man and show this guy you don't disrespect me or my girl. I'm thinking about character and fitness, because if I confront you, power of words, right? If I say, man, bro, don't touch, that's my girl, or F you, man, what the F you doing? Blah, 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 you know how I be. What the F you doing, man, don't do that. Nah, that's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about, if I say that, he may respond in such a way that may be combative or confrontational, and then I may, lose it too. And so now I gotta almost I have to see a bad situation before it happens and say, you know what, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah. In mind.
And so now I gotta have a tolerance, because if we fight, to him, it's just a fight. To me, it may affect my ability to become an attorney. Because guess what?
Yeah.
My character, there's a blemish on my character. I was fighting at a club.
Yeah.
And so now I gotta be like, let me explain.
Yeah.
We don't want to be, especially as a black man, you know what I mean? As professionals, you don't want to get in a situation that's sad where now you got to explain yourself. And so that's all about using the power of words and understanding what not to say. They may say, "Oh, well, you're a punk." Your girl may be like, "Man, you ain't check him. Why you would let him?" Baby, I'm trying to be a lawyer. Like, I don't got time for this. You know, respect my focus. Respect my focus, right?
My focus.
Yeah, we could live with this. And I'm not saying, you know, don't say anything and don't be a man.
Right.
But understand what you're capable of. Because I know the old Kenneth.
You know, that's our time. You know, I do want to tell you what's coming up next. Next, we're going to be talking. Yeah.
That fast?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wow, man, where does the time go? Wow.
Coming up next, we're going to be going back to regret, how to deal with regret. So next week we're going to be dealing with, we have a special guest coming on also to help us tackle how to deal with regret. She's going to give us some strategies, some tools, some insight. She's really going to come on and help unpack that, topic a bit and give us some strategies on how to overcome it. It was a hot topic. A lot of people were interested in it, so we want to do that. We also want to thank special guest Kenneth for coming on.
Thank you for having me, baby.
You know,
appreciate it.
Laying down some knowledge on the power of words. We plan to have him on again. As this continues to evolve, we have some more things coming out of the pipeline. Kenneth's going to be involved with. It's going to help us build this out.
Tell them about your website, your law firm.
Y'all can follow me at Kenneth and Willis on Instagram, Kenneth and Willis on Twitter. You know, I practice here. My website is thewillislawfirm.com. You can learn all about my firm. I've been in business for 9 years now. We have an office in New York City, an office in Baton Rouge, and then also an office in Opelousas. We do civil rights, we do criminal defense, we do personal injury, we do entertainment law, and civil litigation. So check us out. I also do public speaking. If you need me at your events to talk to you, your kids, whatever, we deal with entrepreneurship, economic empowerment, financial literacy, civil rights, community activism, race relations, the whole gamut. So reach out to me, look me up on social media. I enjoy being with y'all, and see y'all next time.
Awesome. You can follow us on Facebook. There's Two Random Guys Live. Also, you can hit us up if you have any questions or any comments, any ideas you guys have for us to talk about. We're going to be relevant, and we're going to be inspirational, but we're always going to be on time and on point. As it always known, as always said, you can always find counsel in a multitude of wisdom. So continue. Listen, 9:30 next week.